everybody, this is Jennifer from Paper This and That. I decided that I wanted to play in my art journal today. Um, I don't have a lot of time for this today because I actually have a new team member on my Close to My Heart team. I want to get her up and going and everything, but I also need a little time for me. I'm sure a lot of you can understand that. I had to go in and do some things to my private Facebook group for my team and stuff. But I'm going to play a little bit. I've already gessoed my page here. And I'm going to speed the video up from here. Okay, this process actually took me 2 days because of dry time and other things I had to do. Right there I was squirting paint, and I'm glad I put wax paper all around my edges to protect my other pages. Here I'm trying to thin the paint out with water. And I add more water. As I go, you'll notice that I will add some gloss medium. I'm not sure if that's in this step or not, because I think, to me, it came out too dark. But there I am drawing. I liked the texture that paintbrush gave. Okay, now I'm going to add some white because I felt that did come out a little bit dark. But I didn't want to cover up completely, so I add the gel, gloss medium. It makes the paint a little bit more translucent, and I add water to the white. Again, when I started applying this, I felt that the white was going to be too dark. I'm thinking, oh no, I'm going to be adding so many coats of paint here. But what I didn't realize is after the paint dried, it actually dried more translucent. It goes almost on right away as opaque. You can see a little bit of the grayish blue peeking through underneath. But it's when it's dry is whenever you notice how translucent or opaque the coating is. So then I go and I have to dry it again. And then I had to walk away and let it dry some more. And yep, I did. After this, I did paint the clouds and forgot to record it. But it's no big deal. Most of you know how to paint clouds anyhow. But as you can see right there that the glue is coming in. There's a piece of tissue paper that I used a background stamp. It was like a script stamp, a wood-mounted stamp. I'm going to unmount that stamp and put it on foam so I could use it with my Misty. But I got some gel medium, which you'll see in a moment, or matte gel medium. It is supposed to protect things. It's not water soluble, so it's not going to make my inks run. Because I used StazOn to put that background stamp on that tissue paper. And I'm just going around and putting it in various places. And then I realized that up at the top right corner of the page, it actually pretty much obscured that cloud. It almost went away. And you'll see later on in the video where I go back and try to emphasize the clouds again a little bit with some black oil pastels. But now I'm going to go. Now it's time to try to dry that again. And then I'll come back in and do some stamping. Oh no, I skipped a step. I will come in with some distress inks and do some inking to the page. I can't remember which ones they were, but they were like, there was a bluish one, there was a purplish one, and one of them was a grayish colored one. I can't remember the color names. I could tell you what close to the heart colors I use, which will be up next. I do letters in that. But I go in and add my colors, and I'll add more purple also. Um, I wanted to get like a little bit of a darker color in those corners. And then I add some blue in between the clouds. And then I felt like there wasn't enough purple. So I end up having to go back in with a little bit more purple. In there. And then I'll bring out some stencils. That stencil I cut on my Cricut. I actually got some stencil blanks at Michael. I can't remember if it was Michael's or Hobby Lobby. But then I cut those holes on my Cricut Explorer machine. Now I'm drawing that stencil, and I'll come in with a couple more stencils. I'm checking to see if it's dry. This page is a lot of fun, and I guess my video would not be as long if I went clean in between steps, but it just drives me nuts. And at this point, my idea was just totally changed. I was going to spell out dream on all the clouds, but I was afraid that the clouds were too obscured. Most of them, especially on the top of the page, that my letters wouldn't show up. So I just started winging it from here. Just when an idea popped in my head, I put it down. And I used sapphire for those circles. And then that one there was canary yellow for the stars. And I felt that they were just too dark, especially those blue stars. And I'm mixing another mixture up, and I'm just going to paint it on with my fingers. And right there, I forgot that Tim Holtz Distress ink was water soluble. So I started having to just dab the paint on those circles. And then I was putting some up at the top because I felt that script was a little bit too loud. And so I just was trying to kind of soften the background a little bit before I added my letters. And then I had to go in and do a little bit more drawing again. And then I will come in. I will be using a Close to My Heart alphabet stamp here up soon. It is called Handwritten Font. And I am also using Close to My Heart Black Archival ink. Black Archival ink is waterproof and permanent, so it's not going to smear if I would decide to put anything over top of it. But I really didn't put anything over top of the letters. I just kind of left them. And I was going to scatter the letters almost like in a vertical direction. But then when I placed my E down, it wasn't, I didn't place it where I really meant to. So then I almost went into like a triangle type shape when I do the A and the M. This page is for Art Journaling Prompts Facebook group. This was week 14, the prompt for week 14. And as you can see, in between, what I do is I could do this stamp set I never used. So I went in and had to condition my stamps on my arm to get that residue off so that I could get a good impression. There, I popped it up there for a minute. It's a shame that I couldn't use my MISTI on this, but in an art journal, it's unless you're going to stamp on a separate piece of paper, that's called feathers that I'm going to use next, that stamp. But anyhow, unless you're going to stamp on a separate sheet of paper and do like a collage, I really couldn't use or have the art journal page separate and then put in like a sleeve or something. But when while it's in the book, you can't. I couldn't figure out what to do with the Misty, so I just went back to my acrylic blocks for that. And then what I'm gonna do now that I got my feathers down, I'm gonna come back in, and I did them with the our black archival ink too. So I come back in with our Shinhan Twin Touch markers. They are alcohol-based markers, and they're really good. I think they're very comparable to Copics, but cost less. Probably cost half the price of Copics. But before I do the coloring, that's where I got my oil pastel black. Because even with the oil pastels, the color's not real super strong. I went in to kind of redefine a couple of the clouds that kind of got lost and everything. The whole purpose of dream. I wanted it to look dreamy. That's why I chose purples and blues, a little bit of gray. That's why I went with the stars, the clouds. Clouds remind me of being dreamy, and feathers. The feathers remind me of dream catchers. I may have a dream catcher stamp somewhere, but I was a little bit too lazy to go and try to look for it. But I knew I had my feathers stamp set nearby and handy. So I just went ahead and stamped some feathers down. And just going in, I don't color every single section of this feather, but I color in a lot of them, and I'm using multiple colors just to kind of make the feathers colorful. When you think of Indian feathers, I know that growing up when I would think of Indian feathers, I would think bright, bold colors. The Indian chief would wear bright, bold colors. And even on a lot of dream catchers, you see some of them are earth tones, but you see a lot of blues and purples and yellows, reds, oranges, greens, some nice color in Indian feathers. And that was kind of what I was looking for, the look I was looking for in these. And my coloring is almost done. And this page, I am just kind of starting to wrap things up here. And just remember, if you join my team during the month of April, my Close to My Heart team, the price to join is only half price right now. So April is the time that you want to join up right now. Costs you half the money, and we have a lot of great promotions for new consultants too. A lot of incentives. So just shoot me off a message if you're interested. One of the Facebook groups that I belong. And this is my finished piece. And I will have a link to the Close to My Heart products that I used on my blog. And thank you for watching, and have a great day.